Good morning once again from another Monday edition of Sportswave, and two very special guests joining us this morning. We've got Sean Snyman and Heinz Mueller, and two athletes who are looking forward to taking part in the Infantry School Cango half marathon this coming Saturday.
Well, 1.5 athletes.
Morning, Jeff.
Morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the studio. Sean, if I can kick off with you. Basically, your training, I know it was your 47th park run, I believe this past weekend.
Well, look, I actually only started running, if you want to call it that, in 2023, in December. So I've only been running for 14 months. I'm still a baby athlete, but a senior baby athlete. I just turned 60 last year. And I've done 47 park runs. I've done 15 10 kilometers and a 15 kilometer and a 21. As a warm-up to the big one on Saturday. Yeah.
Now tell us about, you've got a body or a facility.
Yes.
Called bent but not broken.
Yeah, what happened was, Jeff, is that first I started the park run because I have two huskies. Now anybody that knows about dogs, they need a lot of exercise. So obviously I was pulled into the exercise with them. And I started doing the park run on the 16th of December. And then around about May last year, a friend of mine challenged me to do the McDonald's to McDonald's. And I said, they're crazy. I mean, you know, me, 10 kilometers, I'm battling with 5. And then I decided I'm going to take the challenge. But I'm going to do it with a difference in mind. And I think at that stage I was in, the SABC actually did a video on it. And I decided to turn my running into every step for people with disabilities. Turn my sweat into a charity, and I called it bent but not broken, because I believe, yes, I might be slightly different to somebody else, but I'm definitely not broken. And I came across a creche in Timberletu that looks after, or a daycare center that looks after children with disabilities, and I went there and they had nothing. And at the end of the 10-kilometer McDonald's to McDonald's, I burst out in tears. I couldn't believe that I finished it. I mean, I did it in an hour and 19 minutes. But the emotions that I felt, having completed 10 kilometers, I couldn't explain it to anybody. And I thought to myself, you know what, and I do still get emotional about it, but there's so many children out there that are never going to get that experience. And if I can turn my steps into getting them some sort of a exercising facility where they might not be able to participate in proper sports, but they'll be able to exercise their bodies and hopefully their minds. And that is what drives me every time I race at the moment. The fact that I'm hoping to change the lives of other people because of the fact that they won't be able to do it themselves.
Sure, that's amazing. Heinz, going to you, you've got a long background in running. I believe, and you run with a blade. I'd love you to show us and tell us more about the blade, but just tell us briefly about your running journey, how it began.
I'll surely do that. Jeff, you know, how do you pack 44 years into one discussion? My mind goes like this, I don't even know where to start. If I can just mention a date, 12th of March, 1982, that's when the accident happened.
Okay. It
was long since then that blades was involving, and it was working for a company in town in 2007 that I got my first blade, which is similar to this, but not this one. Since then, I've been through 3 of them.
Yeah.
They delaminate there after use.
Okay.
Similar to shoes and feet that's going.
Now, these are fairly costly items.
Yes, well, 3 years ago, if I can tell you the story quickly, it was in COVID, I'll keep it short, and I ordered one from Iceland through Usher.
They're not available in South Africa.
Can you believe it? They can't make it. So it came in, and the day I was so excited, Mike Barkley and Oudtshoorn phoned me. They've sponsored me the blade, and I fetched it with my bike. And I put it in the top bag at the back, and I parked. 3 minutes later I came out and I saw my box was open. It was stolen. So that perpetrator thought maybe it was a radio and just discarded it somewhere. It was in COVID, it was very difficult to follow up and to check out. It was gone.
How much is that thing worth?
Then I had to to see if I can claim, get a quote, and they quote me 57,000 rand. And that is only for the blade. A leg like this would cost about 250. Don't quote me, but yes, about 250 for a socket, for the liner, for the sleeve.
250,000 rand, yeah.
Oh yes, for
Yeah.
sure. This is only 57,000, and I've been through 3 of them. So this is all on, on myself. And if you don't have medical, it's not that easy. This is only to protect the outers, and you've got then an inner that goes over your knee. It's suction. There's no belts. There's nothing to do that attach. It sucks. I can just demonstrate it like that. If I pump the width, there's the suction.
Okay.
So if this is around my top thigh, that's the suction.
Yeah.
So you can imagine if you bump or make a little hole in here, and it's happening. I felt
like
or I
that.
bump it, a chair. With the others that I still have, there's about 35 patches that I've got inside. This is now a new one that I'm showing you here. So that's the price.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And just in terms of the blade running, I know it's not only on road. What are the challenges running on trail, like in the park run, you're running in dirt?
Great, you ask me. That I can just show you. This is a little booty that I'm making, and you can see the tread is quite used and worn. This is my patent that I'm using an e-bike, tire, right size, laces, put eyelets in, and then for Saturdays.
That's his Saucony's.
So that is, yeah. So for Saturday, I've got my own, and that cost about, don't quote me again, 2,000 to 5,000 rand just to have a proper boot on here. So I'm making my own little boots for next to nothing.
Because remember, that's probably very slippery. So he's got to have, every one of the trail runners has got a special pair of trainers with a lot more grip on it.
Yeah.
On a road, this wouldn't be necessary as much, but you'd still need the rubber.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is what I'm saying to you, Jeff. The people don't realize the amount of effort that we need to go through. And Heinz is talking about his leg, which is self-explanatory. You can think for yourself, but there's other disabilities as well. And people think because I've got 2 legs, I'm pretty able to run, but they don't remember the balance. They don't remember all the other things that go with, for example, the movement of your arms. It's not the same as somebody else.
Yeah. The key factor, and I'm not an accomplished runner, but one of the key factors in running is tempo and stride and balance and
Correct.
rhythm.
And especially
obviously with your disability, to find a rhythm with your arms, it's a huge, it's a huge
It is.
difference.
Well, I can also say there is other people, if they now talk about the marathon coming up, they eat right and they dress right. We do all of that, and we still have to know, do I have the right grip? Is this tight? Is it going to come off? Is there a hole in? I must,
Yeah.
Do I have the right fitting? Is my settings, if I can show you my settings here, which I adjust all the time, that whole leg, where you can do that with your foot, that I can do there. So with all those 8 grip screws, I can do that. And if that setting is not right, you must see me running 21 kilos with a limp. It's terrible. So that's what worries you.
And the other thing as well, remember that the more, and you can think for yourself, if your shoes don't fit correctly, the number of blisters that you get. Now your blisters are normally on your feet. Heinz and I'm sorry, I don't want to talk on your part, but if he starts getting blisters, it's not on his feet, it's on his knees.
Yeah, and I had them before. So where it's a blister, on a blister, a blood blister, and then they pop.
Yeah.
While running.
And you know what the sad thing about it, I'm going to say it right now, the Road Racing Federation or Foundation or whatever they call themselves don't recognize us.
Yeah. So road running, I'm correct in saying, you told me earlier, is the only sport that does not have a separate category for
it's the only sport that does not have a separate category for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
And I've done that. I've been graded. I'm supposed to be, I think, a T45, which is upper body limitations. When they go to the Olympics, your athletes, there's a T45, which is obviously track, which is running and stuff like that. And then you get the F45, which is your field events, discus, javelin, shot put. And Heinz would have his own category. But when we do the parkrun, when we do the road racing, it's your age group. That's it. And I think it's time, and there's a movement happening at the moment, which I'm not going to get into right now, but it started in Gauteng with another person that's also had an amputated arm. And we're driving a force at the moment to say to the Racing Federation that it's time that you take recognition of the fact that there are people that are running with disabilities. And it's not about always finishing first. For us, it's about finishing the race. And I think Saturday is going to be a massive challenge. We're going to try and finish it together, but it's our race, our pace. And Heinz and I've got an understanding. I'm never going to hold him back, and he's not going to hold me back. But we're going to start the race together. And we're going to push for our best times individually. But we are there for each other all the way. And if the one needs motivation,
Great support.
That's what it's going to be about.
Lovely. I wish we were more.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And also, I hope it's okay me mentioning this, but I know you're going to be speaking to Alvain from the OCC to try and see if you guys
I'd
can
like
get
to,
an
and I'm
appearance
going
in
to put it out there.
OCC.
Maybe this is taking what the Lycée Afrikaanse Skepskop, but putting it out there now. Maybe we can start the 5 kilometer fun run, Heinz and myself, and we do the run. We run the 5 kilometer fun walk that the guys are going to do with the wheelchairs, and show people that we can actually participate on our own.
Yeah.
I'd like to advocate for a fully inclusive sporting event. The OCC is the biggest of its kind in South Africa. In fact, it's the only one of its kind in South Africa.
Yeah.
And possibly one of the biggest in the world. But I'm saying it's time that we need to move on. And Bent But Not Broken is doing that in the sense of it's not about for me. I'm 60 years old. My running days, I don't know how long it's going to be, but what about the generations after me? Those children that they're never going to get the opportunity. I mean, a pair of trainers is 3,500 rand, for a decent pair of trainers. When are those children going to be given the proper opportunity to go to a sporting facility and actually participate in the Olympics and the Paralympics and stuff like that? It's a small minority of people that get that opportunity.
Yeah.
While the vast majority of us can participate, but I don't think they're motivated enough because there's no recognition for them.
Yeah. Gentlemen, best of luck on Saturday.
Yeah.
If you're in George or if you're in the Oudtshoorn area, please pop along and catch the Infantry Cango Half Marathon. Go and support Sean and Heinz. And down here, you can see the details. If you want to assist financially with the wonderful work that Sean and Heinz are doing, and if you can offer any financial assistance, there are the details down there. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next Monday. Have yourselves a great week.